Hi everyone, and welcome to today's practice. Real quick, I just want to say how excited I am to be here after taking almost a 4-year hiatus from teaching these classes. If you're new here, I'm Rochelle. I teach yoga-inspired movement, and today's flow is going to be focused on strengthening the side body. What you'll need for today's class are 2 yoga blocks, possibly a blanket to pad your knees. So if you're feeling all set, I'll go ahead and meet you on your mat.
Go ahead and grab one of your blocks and set it on the medium height. Position just under the shoulder blades and slowly lean back until the back of your head rests on your mat. Your choice whether you want your legs out straight or to bring the soles of your feet together with knees out to the side, also known as reclined cobbler's pose. We're going to start our practice staying in this gentle heart opener for a few minutes, and as we settle in here, begin to relax every muscle, starting with your focus at the crown of your head, working your way all the way down to your toes. You might be surprised at all the little places we hold on to tension. And let your breath take up more than just your lung space. Move the breath into your belly and keep your attention on your breath as you mentally take your mind through releasing every muscle group. Take these next few moments to completely restart the day if you want to. Wipe your slate clean, invite in the energy you want the rest of the day to hold. If it feels right, stretch your arms up overhead to the wall behind you. Maybe from here, explore bringing your elbows down to 90 degrees, getting a nice stretch across the chest. Go ahead and just take a few more breaths here before we begin today's practice. When you're ready, slowly sit on up, remove the block to the side, and plant your feet on your mat with knees bent. We are going to do a slow spinal roll onto our backs. Try to move down to the mat as slow as possible. From here, bring your feet closer in to your sit bones. Keep your stance hip width apart and begin to press into your feet, grounding down into your mat. We're going to move into dynamic bridge. Inhale, pressing the back of your arms into your mat. Bring your hips up towards the ceiling. Time your movement with your breath. Exhaling at the same rate it takes your hips to travel back down to the mat. Again, inhale, slowly lift your hips. Start your exhale as you come back down. Let's add in arms on this next one. Inhale, hips go up and arms reach for the wall behind you. Exhale, bring your arms back by your side, hips to the mat. We're going to keep this movement going, and I invite you to stay aware of what's happening in your body as you focus to try and match your breath to your movement. So let's go for 3 more. This is our last time. We're going to hold bridge at the top of our breath. As you exhale, keep your hips lifted. Make sure your chin is neutral and throat is relaxed. Keep holding it here. Think strong energy in those legs. Go ahead and exhale, come down, bring your knees to chest. Do whatever movement feels good here. Drawing little circles with your knees, or maybe wider circles are what you need. This is your practice. Moving on, reach your legs up towards the sky with as much of a bend behind the knees as you need. If your flexibility allows for it and you feel warmed up, you can start to straighten them. But let's start alternating between pointing our toes and flexing our feet. Then gradually move into rolling your ankles around in circles. Play around with any other kind of movement you want here. Go ahead and bend the knees, bring the heels down, and then let's keep some dynamic movement as we straighten the legs out and then bend the legs. We repeat this, straighten the legs, bend the legs. Then alternate one leg down at a time, straightening one leg while bending the other, back and forth. Now that the hamstrings have been warmed up, I invite you, if it's part of your practice, to go ahead and hook 2 fingers to each big toe. Straighten out behind the legs as much as you can that's comfortable. Let's stay here for 2 breaths. If this is uncomfortable for you, just go ahead and spend this time with knees to chest. Go ahead and bring the feet down wide on the mat, and we're going to bring the knees to fall in and touch each other. Just a little kiss with the knees as the feet stay out wide on your mat. And then when you feel ready, go ahead and start moving your knees together side to side. So together to the left side of the room, and then slowly over to the right side. This is really nice movement for the side of the hips, as well as along the side of the rib cage. We're going to keep sticking with this dynamic movement since we're still trying to warm up the side body. This is our last one. Take your time getting there, but go ahead and turn to the side, gently come back up. And we're going to take a kneeling position. Now you can either sit back on your heels or you can come up on your toes, whichever is more comfortable. Let's warm up these wrists. Start with arms straight out in front of you, fingers pointed towards the ceiling, then rotate your hands down, place your hands on the mat, fingertips towards your knees. It's very important here that you keep your weight in your legs and only apply a little bit of weight into your hands. Bring your chest forward a little ways, then slowly move your hips back and repeat this movement gently. Once you get the hang of this, maybe start to move around in a half circle, first to the right, then to the left, and repeat. From here, lift the palms up, coming up onto the fingertips. Get a nice little stretch there through your palms and keep repeating this movement. And again, a friendly reminder to keep your weight mostly in your legs, not in your hands. Go ahead and come back to a kneeling position. Shake your wrists out. Bring your hands together in front of you. Clasp your fingers, turn your palms away from you, and straighten your arms. Reach up, gently move your hips over to the right and reach with your hands still clasped to the left side of the room. You can get a little neck stretch here as well if you'd like by slowly looking towards the right. Let's revisit some of that dynamic movement now. So go ahead and bring the left hand down to the ground. Keep the right hand overhead and lean to the left. Now slowly come up on the inhale and exhale again, reach to the left. Continue for 2 to 3 more breaths, pacing your breath with your movement. Come back to center. Let's reset for the other side. Lean over to the left, reach towards the right side of the room. Option to take that neck stretch on this side as well, looking to the left side of the room. Now place the right hand down. We're going to bring the left arm over to the right. Inhale up, exhale to the right. Inhale up, exhale, reach towards the right side of the room. Reach for one more time. At the end of that movement, just stay there for a moment before returning back to center. Now we're going to come to all fours and setting ourselves up for cat-cow. Inhale, keep your core engaged here. Exhale, going to round out the back. Inhale, core stay strong even when we drop the belly and lift the chest. Tuck your chin on your exhale and careful as you inhale not to tweak your neck back too far. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Take it nice and slow. Last one here. We're going to hold cat right at the top here. Maybe even find some movement at the top of this pose. Inhale, come back to center. We're going to set up now for a balancing table pose. Start with reaching the right foot straight behind you, foot is flexed. Then float your left arm parallel to the mat. We're going to exhale, meet knee to elbow. Inhale, extend, and exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, extend, exhale, knee to elbow. That's the pattern here. Match it with your breath. Go nice and slow. Brace your core, stay strong through the back leg. This is one of those sneaky poses that engages every part of the body. Let's go for 3 more, but take a resting pose whenever you need one. Last one is here. We're going to hold at the top of this position. Think strong thoughts and keep the breath stable. Go ahead and relax, come back down, shake out the wrists, take a sip of water, and collect yourself because we're going to move right into the other side when you're ready. Start with the left leg first, then introduce the right hand. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, straighten out. Exhale, knee to elbow. Inhale, straighten out. Same thing on this side. Nice and slow and controlled. Take your time here and take a rest if you need to as well. If for any reason this isn't your cup of tea today, there's an option to take plank during this time. You can also go down to a forearm plank. Whichever you decide to choose, we'll be here for 3 more breaths. This is our last one. We're gonna hold in that extension for a breath. Exhale, come back to center, find a restful pose. You can choose child's pose or whichever feels comfortable for you. We're gonna stay here for a few breaths. Bring your focus back to your breath. Listen as your heart rate comes back down and your breathing is calm again. When you are ready, we are going to find ourselves in our first down dog of this practice and take your time getting there. Don't try to go with straight legs right off the get-go. Play around with some movement, keep things mobile, bend behind the knees, pedal it out, and just play around here for a moment. A reminder to shake out the neck too if you need it. When you are ready, focus on your center of gravity as we lift the right leg behind us and then exhale, bring the knee in through the center where you gently place your foot down at the top of the mat. Now bring your blocks so that they frame your foot. Personally, I like mine on a medium height, but they can be any height that you prefer. Bring that back knee down onto the mat, tuck the toe and lift the knee, and then gently bring the knee back down to the mat. Then lift the knee again and slowly come back down. Just barely touch the mat before you come back up into that high lunge, alternating between high lunge and low lunge, keeping the back toes tucked. We're lengthening through the front hip on the left side. This is targeting our psoas and quad muscle. Go ahead and let your knee touch down, come to the top of your foot. Exhale, half split. Inhale, come forward, low lunge. Exhale, half split, using your blocks on whichever level you prefer to help you get into this half split so that you feel just a little bit of lengthening through the hamstring. We're going to keep this dynamic moving going. Inhale, we come forward in that low lunge. Exhale for half split. On the next inhale, come forward, but now we're going to swivel our back legs so that the shin is at a 90-degree angle to our thigh. I know, I'm throwing geometry at you, so pause the video if you need to replay this part. From here, we're going to continue coming forward like that low lunge and then exhaling into a half split. So same motion here, just a different position of the legs. It's going to target a different part of our hips, outer hips for this one. Let's do this for 2 more breaths. Inhale, come forward, keep your legs how they are, but now we are going to place our forearm onto the top of our thigh, shoulders facing the same direction as our hips. Inhale, then exhale, lean into the right leg. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, reach over to the right. Inhale, back to center. Let's make this a little spicier. Go ahead and reach both arms overhead. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lean into the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lean to the right. Let's keep adding. Travel to the back of your mat. Place your left hand down. Flex your right foot and lift your leg. Slowly come back up onto your knee. Both arms reach overhead and lean into that right thigh. Let's repeat. This is our next dynamic movement. Keep that ankle flex as you lift your leg. Inhale as you come up. Exhale as you reach. Let's do this for 3 more breaths, timing your movement to your breath. Last time here, we're gonna rep it out on these leg lifts. If this is your first time doing these, take it slow, slower than how I'm demoing them, and stop if you feel any pain. Keep your core nice and engaged here. Make sure that your spine isn't arching too much in your low back. We got 3 more here. Last one, we'll end this with a nice little stay in gate pose. Use your block behind your ankle for extra leverage. Reach that left arm up towards the ceiling. Bring your left elbow behind your ear. Really lift that chest. Grow taller through the left side of your body and come back to a steady breath. Move your block off to the side. Come to the back of your mat. Find plank, then chaturanga to up dog, and then down dog. Inhale, up dog, then bring the tops of the legs to touch the mat. Bend your left knee, place your foot behind you. Setting up for a wild thing, ground through the left foot, then lift the hips strong as we reach back behind us. From here, stack the feet, side plank. Keep those hips lifted high. Bring the left leg up, extend it out. Slowly and with control, bring that left foot to the top of the back of the mat. From your high lunge, bring that left leg back behind you before finding down dog. From here, find child's pose or any preferred resting pose. Come back to your breath here, slow it down. We're going to get ready to do the other side here. When you're ready, tuck the toes, come back into a down dog. Walk your hands back towards your feet, find your blocks, set them up towards the back of your mat. Come back to down dog, and let's do the other side. With your inhale, go ahead and lift the left leg back and behind you. Exhale, bring the knee through, place the foot at the top of the mat between your hands. Bring the knee down and move the blocks in closer. We're going to lift the knee and then bring the knee back down. We're going to lift the knee again on the inhale. Exhale, bring the knee back down. Same dynamic movement on this side, getting a nice stretch through the front of the hip and the psoas. 3 more breaths here from high lunge back down to low lunge. Last one here. Now come onto the top of the foot, down onto the knee. Exhale, push back into half split. Inhale, low lunge, come forward. Exhale, half split. Option to keep the knee here slightly bent. There is no pressure to ever straighten beyond what your capacity is. So keep that in mind here. We're just going for gentle dynamic movement, not going to our limits here. Swivel the back foot to a 90-degree angle, and we're going to continue with that same back and forth motion, coming forward onto the blocks, lifting the chest. Exhale, half split. Same movement, just slightly different focus of a muscle group here. Moving on, bring the left elbow onto the top of the thigh, right arm overhead. Exhale, lean into that left leg. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, lean. Inhale, center. Moving right into the next sequence, stretch both arms up. Through the center, right hand down. Foot is flexed, left leg lifts. Back to center, lean into the left leg. Inhale, center. Exhale, lift. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean. Repeat this movement for 3 more breaths. Take it at your own pace. Last one, we're staying here for leg lifts. Go for as many as you can, but the moment you start to cramp, that is your body's cue to let off. Going for 3 more, then 2, last one. Walk the hands out in front. Gonna meet you in gate pose. Your blocks should be nearby if you would like one for additional support. Sweep that top arm overhead, bringing your elbow behind your ear, lifting the chest. Shoulders are square, facing the wall in front of you. Notice the lengthening happening in your side body, along the rib cage, along your obliques, your outer hip. Find your breath, slow it back down. And go ahead and move your block off of the mat. Walk your hands back to the front of the mat. Lift that knee and plank that you're kneeling on. Nice and high, round out your back. Find chaturanga or take knees to chest. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Bring the top of your legs to the mat. Bend the right knee, shift your weight into your left hand and step behind you, set up for wild thing. Lift the hips, reach up and back. Left leg is straight, right knee is bent. From here, you're going to find a side plank, but take it slow. Find a point for your eyes to focus on for balance. Keep your hips high. Lift that right leg up towards the ceiling. Float that leg all the way to the top of your mat high lunge. Bring the back knee down, crescent moon here. Reach both arms up high and behind you. Exhale, bring the arms down, find plank. Bend your knees, hover an inch above the mat. Push back into downward dog. Push off your tippy toes, roll up into plank. Bend your knees and hover. Push back into downward dog. And repeat. Inhale, plank. Exhale, bend the knees. Follow that exhale through down dog. Inhale, roll to plank. You got 3 more. Time this with your breath. And of course, as always, at your own pace. This is your last one. Come to chaturanga, either cobra or up dog. From here, take child's pose or your favorite resting pose. There is one more pose that we are going to play around with today before we end today's practice. So when you are ready, go ahead and meet me in a kneeling position. Place your left hand on your left heel. Lift your hips and reach across the body with your right arm. Come back to kneeling before switching sides. Inhale, lift and reach. Exhale, back to kneeling. Inhale, other side. See if you can reach just a tiny bit further each time. Exhale, back to center. We've got one more time on the other side. Keep your core engaged, protect your low back here. Exhale, come back to center. Moving into camel, come up onto your knees. Lean back as you reach with the left arm. Exhale, center. Inhale, other side, reach back with the right arm. Exhale, center. Focus on keeping a straight line here from the crown of your head to your knees. Even though you're leaning back, everything from your knee to the crown of your head is going to stay in a straight line. To do this, keep your core engaged, squeeze your glutes, and keep those quads fired up. Let's do this for 4 more breaths, alternating each side, and then we're going to do the full expression of camel. Last time here, come back to center. Go ahead and kneel back onto your heels. Set a block on the outside of each foot. My blocks are on the medium setting, but choose what's best for you. Stand up on your knees. Place hands on your hips, gently pushing your hips forward. Engage your core, squeeze your glutes. Reach back with your right hand first and find the block, then the left hand. Maintaining that shape through your spine even though your hands are not on your hips anymore. Make sure you're not collapsing into the small of your back. Maintain a nice strong arch through your spine. I recommend keeping your gaze on the ceiling and not letting your head fall all the way back. To release, reach the right arm forward, then the left, and go ahead and sit back on your heels. Move the blocks off to the side. With your knees together, go ahead and find child's pose. Touch your forehead to the mat. Roll your head side to side. Camel can be a lot on the neck. When you're ready, sit back on up, sweep the legs out from underneath you. Come to a seated position. Bend your knees, feet are flat on the mat. Let's do a slow spinal roll all the way down to our backs. Go as slow as possible. Bring your knees into your chest, give them a nice hug. And just like in the beginning of our practice, find small circles here if you would like. Sway your knees back and forth. From here, we're going to go into a quad stretch. Place both feet down. Keep the left leg bent, but lay it down on its side. Heel toe your foot through the window of your right leg. See if you can take hold of it with your right hand. If not, no worries. Whether you can or cannot, you're going to actually bring that right knee into your chest. Left hand meets right knee. Pull in the knee as close as it can get to your chest. Remain here for a few breaths. Try to slow down the breath, breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. With your next exhale, twist the right knee over the body towards the left side of the room. Stay here for 4 to 5 breaths. Go ahead and come back to center. Setting up for the other side. Right knee stays bent as it comes down onto its side. Heel toe the right foot through the window of the left leg. Maybe you can grab hold of your foot, maybe not. Either way, bend the left knee, place the right hand over the front of the left knee, bringing your knee into your chest. If this side got enough attention, go ahead and twist over to the right side of the room. The left knee goes over the right side of the body. As we stay here for a bit, stay with your breath. Keep a rhythm to it. Keep it steady. Keep it controlled. Take a few deep sighs if you need to. Release any restless energy that didn't make it out in the practice. Take your time coming out of this twist, but when you are ready, this is your chance for any last pose you would like to do before coming into Savasana. I'm taking happy baby, but whatever you want to do, now is the time. No rush getting there, but this is the last couple minutes of class where you are welcome to take your Savasana. We will be here for a full minute. For your first few breaths, ground yourself by following your inhale and exhale. Then allow your breath to slip from your focus. Spend these last few moments bringing in the feeling you want the rest of your day to embody. Slowly start coming back to this present moment. You can place one hand on your chest, one hand over your belly to start bringing yourself back here. Slowly turn over to one side before gently sitting up. Absolutely no rush getting there. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. We'll see each other again very soon.